Hey guys, it's Rabbit Roo here, back with another Starcraft Broodwar Remastered cast. This is a ladder game between the ASL champion JYJ, who has spawned in the bottom left position here of Eclipse, and he is playing against one of my absolute favorite Protoss players. It is Rain. It's going to be an absolute cracker. If you're going to enjoy this game, I hope you do. I know I'm going to. Then please do hit that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. I'm looking forward to doing this cast with you guys now. So without any further ado, let's get into the action. Okay, so nothing unusual yet, perhaps with the exception of the fact that there's a forward pylon from Rain. And it is going to be interesting to see if that's going to probably just result in some zealot pressure. Because he's dropped the pylon and sent the probe. This is Eclipse, so we all know what's going to happen. It's going to be a gas steal. People will treat playing JYJ differently now. So I had the experience of casting him before he was the ASL champion. And now, obviously, a few months later, I'm casting him again. And I think the perception and everything will just be different. His confidence will be a lot higher. His reputation will certainly be a lot stronger than what it was. It's interesting to see if that will give him like more respect from players. I know that Snow, for example, doesn't troll when he plays against JYJ. He plays his proper builds, in inverted commas. So it'll be good to see if Rain, who didn't really feature and doesn't feature a lot of the times in ASL, he chooses not to play it. So it'll be interesting to see how he approaches this game and just how he plays PvT in general. So, you know, a very meta player. I won't be surprised to see Reaver open, followed by Speed Shuttles and Storm. You know, that just seems to be the way this match is played now. And it does create a lot of fun, I must be honest. So we did a gas steal, we did a Nexus first, we made a gateway. So this is like sort of a little bit snug in terms of a wall. Our Protoss has, I beg your pardon, our Terran has scouted this, sees exactly what's coming. And here comes the gas. I expect the Cybernetics core to come quite soon. And here comes the boys. Okay, so we cannot just have a quiet, calm PvT. Today's my PvT evening, so I'm doing a couple of games tonight. So the first game I've just done, which was a PvT on Fighting Spirit, where we had a Nexus first, and and it was bunker rushed and it was shut down. So here we're now having another PvT and another bunker rush against a Nexus first. So his attempts to build a bunker have been cancelled. He's pulled some probes. This is really good play from Rain, actually. I think in SCV, the Marine that could have got into the bunker's gone down. There's actually only one left. The shield battery here as well benefits both the Zealot and the probes. Still just circling around to make a nuisance of himself. Wants to kill this SCV that's building this bunker. Couple more Marines, though, have been rallied forward. Does recharge on the shield battery. As I said, it will show its usefulness. I think this bunker's going to come up, though. Somebody's going to build it eventually, although mine drilling through here to block these SCVs. This is really a huge moment. There's 3 Marines and a lot of micro going down here, down to 2 Marines. The health bars on this, that one's pretty healthy, that one's in the yellow. He cannot get an SCV to complete this damn bunker, so he has spent so many SCVs that Protoss is ahead on workers. And, okay, now another Zealot comes in to replace that Zealot. He's gone. He's in the red, one shot away from being hit. This one's still green. Another Marine coming in, but where is the SCV that's going to finish building this bunker? Here, no, that's not you. That's not you. So are they going to is he going to try and do this without a bunker? I don't know if JYJ quite knows what he wants to do here. Rain is floating a bit of money. JYJ decides, well, I'm just going to expand behind this myself. And sending a Zealot here once again. He doesn't really want this bunker on his front door. Here comes the SCV now, finally, to finish off this this bunker. So is he going to get it right this time? What a crazy start to this game. I really do pick him. Or I have been lately anyway. So here we go. Here comes the SCVs. 2 of the probes go, 3 of the probes go. There's enough Marines here now that the probe pulling is actually not going to be that effective. And it's also got to a point now where Rain really needs Dragoons. He's not going to get very far without Dragoons here. The shield battery is helping, but unfortunately the bunker has now finished. Marines are inside. However, the bunker is out of range of the shield battery, so that really doesn't help all that much at all. Now decides to try and take this down, but suddenly there are some Dragoons in play. If I called Rain Mini once or twice, I do apologize. I do sometimes get these two players mixed up for some ridiculous reason, but it says Rain. You know, it can't really be that hard for my dumb brain to understand that. Anyway, Rain now gets himself a second, I beg your pardon, JYJ gets himself a second bunker. This one is in range to hit both this gateway and the shield battery and this pylon. And this has been a game of serious grief. So he took the gas. Remember that? Remember when that mattered? And JYJ was like, that's fine. I'll just make a lot of Marines and give you a lot of grief. And so this Nexus looks like it's going to go down. We've got a 5 worker lead for our Terran. Range is on the way. Once range comes in, he should be able to start knocking down these bunkers. But the prize that the Terran is after is definitely the Nexus. And the question is, can this hit the Nexus? And can you control what these units inside the bunker fire on? I don't think you can, right? I think it's just a case of they fire on what they think makes sense. So what's really critical in my view here is what... he's actually mining his gas from here. He's really so not bothered about the gas steal. What he manages to get done before range kicks in. So range is about halfway down. We can see it there in the production tab. And the big question is really going to be, because now the goon number is getting scary, right? So when the goons are at about 5 and they've got range, they will knock this bunker down without any issues at all. Now, the gateway being here was actually really clever. I must say, I didn't give Rain nearly enough credit for this. So he's deliberately put it in between so that the Nexus has a chance of surviving. But that Nexus is very critical in terms of health. We've got 200 hit points, no more shield left, and somehow he's targeting the gateway with this one and the Nexus with this one. And I think he's going to sack it. Okay, so down goes the gateway. Range is just finished though, but he does get the Nexus and the gateway. He had to build 3 bunkers though to do it. And I think he's just going to get out of dodge. And the question we got to ask ourselves is, where are we in this game? I think Terran has got a very strong lead. 34 workers, 2 bases, getting his second gas up and running, getting his second factory going. It really is JYJ's game to lose from here. I think he's in a very strong spot. Rain deciding, well, okay, the one thing I can do is try and take a very quick third. But I think if you Protoss and you do that, you open the door for Terran to just move across the map very shortly and just come kill you. So, funny enough, he's making another bunker. And hopefully he's going to repair this soon. Please repair the bunker. Shoof, that was close. That was very close. Anyway, so it does move across the map and pressure the bunker. It's going to send down a 5th Dragoon. He needs to siege up here. There's no ways he's got enough SCVs to repair this. But the siege tanks have arrived. So the fact that the bunker dies doesn't really matter because he's got the siege tanks on the high ground. Yes, okay, maybe he can pick off and be annoying, but he's just going to reposition one of these siege tanks onto the low ground, probably here behind the turret. And that's going to be the end of the Dragoon pressure. And he floats here for sighting. Absolutely masterfully done by JYJ. Okay, so third base from Rain coming in. And Rain. Oh, I'm such a goof with names. It's hopeless. And I pride myself on having a good memory, but you think I can remember the names of the players of the games that I've just queued up? Nope. That's just too hard. Anyway, so Rain does have his units on the doorstep of JYJ just to keep an eye on when and if his Terran compadre wants to move out. That was weird. Why would they shoot the observer and then stop? Did he just scan here a little while ago and then... no. He was in sight of the turret for a little while and then obviously moved out of sight. That makes sense. So another factory on the way. So it doesn't look like a 3 command center build from JYJ. It looks like he wants to try and maybe do this on 4 or 5 factories before expanding. We'll keep an eye on his factory movement and that production tab to see if we do get a command center. The starports come in pretty fast though, which tells me science vessels, which tells me an upgrade build from our Terran. Meanwhile, Protoss is trying to get his macro going from a very, very, very far behind position. You can see this Marine here is scouting to see, well, when are you going to take your third? Because this is the normal third base location on this map. So the observer's flying in to get a factory count. Is going to see, your factory count is up to 4. That's interesting. So I think you're going to be quite aggressive. And did he see the starport? The armory's down here. And the starport's tucked away here into the natural. So I don't think you would have seen the starport. So difficult for you as the Protoss to be able to gauge exactly what the build's going to be. Because you couldn't really get in and see all the tech. Down here he's going to see there's one armory spinning. He's probably... Yeah, he does have sight now of the starport. So I didn't see that observer get from here down to here. But good job that he got in there. Because now he could easily just fly across and go, I see you making a science facility. So it's probably going to be a 3-base build because you make that to try and get all of your upgrades. Alright, so Rain is doing his utmost to get back on track here. Just by pumping workers, getting his macro going. 1, 2, 3, 4 gateways with Reaver. Getting himself a forge to start his production and to make cannons if he needs to. Setting himself up to take a 4th base. There we go. And this seems to be the trigger for JYJ to move out or just potentially establish a foothold here so that it's easy for him to expand and take a 3rd of his own. So some speed vultures zooking across the map at a great speed. They're going to walk right up here. This is not tight yet for vultures. So if he moves now, he should have an opportunity to get up onto this ramp and kill that probe and harass. So let's see if he does take the opportunity. A couple of goons here. They're not on the ramp though. Lays a few mines. They're going to probably get dragged here, but he doesn't lose a goon. That's pretty decent micro from both players. 117 plays 106. So still Terran is still behind. Meanwhile, we do now have our Reaver drop, and he got himself about 4 or 5. We can't see the kill counter while the Scarabs are building, but I reckon he got himself 4 or 5 SCVs from that. Does tidy up the Reavers, also reveals the drop ship. So if Rain wasn't anticipating a drop, he got one now. Alright, so we have some action. JYJ moving out, sending out his pod of tanks, and Rain jumping onto the high ground, microing a pod of Dragoons beautifully here. Does pick off the vultures that were sort of trying to flank him a little bit, but there's not really that much here for Terran. Where's the rest of your army? So he's got one tank here. I would be a little bit reluctant as he tries to establish his 3rd to move out with all my stuff because I just got Reaver dropped, and there is the Reaver that kind of shows himself. The Reavers here in the hands of the right player are a fantastic weapon to negate any pushes. So you can see the speed shuttle play, the zealots suddenly on top of these tanks, the goons jumping on top of everything, lovely Reaver shots, suddenly supplies for the first time. Protoss moves ahead for a very brief moment, and JYJ's got to get out of dodge, man. So his attempt to move across the map and win this game before having to establish a 3rd has come and gone, and now it's a 4-basing Protoss who's probably going to start moving into Templar tech as we see the Citadel of Adun coming in versus a unestablished 3-basing Terran. So here comes our shuttle. The command center would have spotted that. In fact, he drops the Zealot and then he thinks better of flying in with the Zealot and a Reaver. So here we go. Pops down the Reaver and boom, gets himself a couple of vultures, and boom, gets himself another vulture, picks him up. Here comes SCVs, which are ripe for the plucking. Gets himself another vulture. He's going to get a whole heap here. Oh man, just got the SCV, got lucky to get out of there. But the Rain is fighting his way back into this game just with really, really good Reaver play. JYJ though does put his units in position and get the space up and running. But Rain is back in this game. He had a huge deficit, but his Reaver play and his micro in handling that push have actually put him into this contest once again, into contention. That's what I'm trying to say. I can't find my big words at this time of day. I'm just too dumb. But I found one, contention. That sounds pretty smart. So Rain is now ahead by about 15 to 20 supply. And that probably puts this game at even. So still anybody's game. And has been an absolute cracker so far. Really an action-packed PvT from beginning to end. JYJ, not to be outdone, says, well, you know, if you can drop, I can drop too. So here goes my siege tanks. I just want to quickly, if you don't mind, move out of range of your cannon. So I can blow up your shit, which is what he's doing. So that was a decent little drop from JYJ, showing that he certainly has a repertoire of skills of his own. Observer flies in there to die. That's sad. A couple of units just in position here. Tidied that up though with a Reaver. Of course he did. Apologies that I missed that. But sent the speed shuttle across. Dropped down the Reaver. We could see what's inside here. A couple of Reavers. Dropped them. Tidied up the tanks. Up he went. This man's Reaver play and shuttle play is masterfully good. Rain is considered by many still to be the best Protoss player in the world. Okay, so we are now trying to establish a 5th base as Protoss. Oh my god, that mine was brutal. Bit of goon juice to enjoy for those who like that kind of thing. Another Reaver drop here. The shuttle is taking quite a bit of damage though. So if you can target down the shuttle, he should actually be able to thwart this damage. So drop the Zealot there, and then the Reaver's there. It might have been more than one shuttle actually. Kills the depot. The armory is red but not critical. Oh, he's got it! One shot with the Scarab. Maybe he got the Scarab upgrade, because that's serious damage. So that upgrade gets denied. Our units are now only on 2-1. He wanted 3-2 pretty soon, but that's been denied by killing that armory. And that Reaver play again from Rain. Unbelievable impact. Only 49 workers from our Terran. Constantly losing workers from this harassment. It's very tricky to follow all the Reaver play from our Protoss. So if I do miss one or two, I apologize. But I am getting most of them, and they are really high impact. Like, I'm a bit sad that I missed him cleaning it up here with that, but I didn't miss the drop and the impact that had in terms of getting that armory. He's gonna have to remake that armory. He's gonna have to restart that upgrade. Meanwhile, he is building turrets here, so that pretty manual recall style of building a whole heap of shuttles and dumping them in bit by bit, proving to be very effective so far. So what I'm looking for on the Protoss side of things in the production tab is these guys, High Templars. My feeling is that's what's coming next. This is Rain style in PvT. It is to now start to fly in, drop Zealots and drop High Templars on top of these clumped up mechanical units, and just to splash heaps of damage on top of them. So he's about to max out, which at a certain point of this game did not seem likely or possible. It's actually unbelievable how well he's played this game to get back into it. And it looks like JYJ is moving his army maybe to try and establish a 4th base, or possibly to do an attack. I'm not quite sure, but it's in line of sight of this observer, and it looks like Protoss is setting up for some sort of attack. So we can have a look at the position here. So the observer is going to help just pick off these minefields. Here comes the shuttle, which we want to keep an eye on. JYJ now has to move his whole tank line down here as well. And there's a lot of tanks here. You don't want to engage with this head on, surely. A couple of Zealots though are going to get on top of these tanks, which are relatively isolated. But a whole heap of... JYJ didn't want his tanks here. Unfortunately, he was moving, and he kind of got caught on the move because of the observer positioning. But he's got so many units here, and this is just tier 1 units. So I don't think that this attack can go well. His vultures are beautifully positioned in front of the tanks, and Rain traded very poorly there. Did not drop any High Templars down and do any storms. That was sort of uncharacteristically poor trade from our Protoss on that occasion. And I think JYJ identifying that did not go well for the Protoss says, this is my time to move out. So what, if anything, is he going to be able to do to hold this? I don't know. There does come our first storm. It was unfortunately just on one tank. Wasn't splashed across a whole clump of them, which is ideally what you want. Looks like JYJ is identifying, setting up in a spread sort of position and slowly leapfrogging up to take down a few bases. Meanwhile, another drop over here. It does drop within cannon range, and there is a High Templar that's snuck in here, and so isn't able to do too much damage. This High Templar was able to storm that. A couple of High Templars are also up here next to the Nexus on this base, so he picked himself up a decent number of tanks there. Good storms. So nice defensive play from Rain. Rain's defense in this game that he's played so far has been really, really good. Zealot does get introduced here, so he does have to pick up that tank. That's probably going to be the end of the harassment on that side of the map for the time being. Meanwhile, JYJ just seems quite happy to chill here for the time being. Another drop. High Templars inside that. So drops the High Templar, storms the one tank. Meanwhile, Rain decides, well, you know what? If all your stuff is here, then maybe I can move down the map and attack you somewhere else. So a lot of mines, though, have been laid to slow him down, and then a huge clump of tanks have come up to reinforce. Goliath's coming up here to try and kill these High Templars. A decent clump of units coming in here. There's nothing protecting the front of these tanks, so these Zealots should actually be able to get on top here a little bit. A couple of drops coming in from the shuttles. We should see some storms pretty soon as well. I'm expecting the storms. I'm not seeing decent Zealot bombs though, but there's just so many tanks here, and they're in a pretty decent spot. Vulture's also pretty well placed, but there's just a lot of Protoss here that's overwhelming the Terran. I cannot believe how well that went for Protoss. It just looked like Terran had so many units and was in such a strong position. Bearing in mind this is a 4-basing Terran, should be terrifying from a macro point of view. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7? Surely it should be 9 at this stage with this many bases. It's not like he's floating any money, so he's certainly finding a way to spend it. Anyway, so JYJ is sending some vultures across the map after that trade. Didn't go too fantastically, picking himself up a few probes. Rain's got so many probes there that it's not really much of an issue. And now sending in a few High Templars and Dragoons of his own. A lovely couple of storms there. I don't know... Oh my god, I was going to say I don't know there's enough Protoss, but there's 2 tanks left. So the Protoss is going to be able to take this base down without too much hassle. Is Rain going to win this game? This is absolutely impossible. This man makes this game look so easy. Most Protosses would have just, after the start he had, just the game would have ended after 10 minutes. It is absolutely ridiculous that not only is he still in this game, but it looks like he's going to win it, and win it quite comfortably. So knocking down this 4th base with a number of units to spare, sending in a few more Zealots here as well. There's about 6 or 7 tanks coming this way, so he doesn't have the units. He might actually save this command center to his credit. So Rain has to back away. There's far too many units here. But he's just got, look at his army, and now he's got arbiters too. So potentially a stasis coming in. What spell are we getting for our arbiters? I haven't really seen or been monitoring the production tab closely enough. So have a look at our upgrades. 3-1, that's the other thing that Rain does well. Is not only has he got the micro, but he does keep on track with his macro really well as well. So his upgrades are on point. Taking another base here as well. And it's quite cheeky to have his base so close, but it looks like he just want to go try and break this position. And I think he probably can with the support of the arbiters as well. One decent stasis, although the tanks, to be honest, are not clumped. So I don't think stasis is really going to be too much of a factor. Is moving around. The arbiter does have 105 energy. So basically stasis is a missile turret. I don't think that's so far. I've never seen a missile turret get stasis before. Throws down a couple of storms. Gets these zealots on top of these tanks. Another storm as well. So I don't think that our Terran is going to have enough to hold this base. Killing heaps of workers, down to 42. These workers are like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. Does eventually hold it. And Rain does pull back. But it looks like he's just going to keep going again. He's just a Protoss with a gun, endless bullets, and he's just reloading and going, reloading and going. So what's going to happen with this shuttle. I think he has some aspirations to do some drops. JYJ identifying this as an opportunity to pressure this base, and I'm thinking some Zealots and High Templars potentially coming out of here. There we go. So throws down a storm and throws down another storm. Now where are the reinforcements? Here they come. Alright, so the reinforcements to try and kill the tanks have arrived. The Arbiter has arrived as well, just probably to provide cloak more than anything else, although the science vessel's there. This defensive matrix on this Goliath on the high ground is pretty annoying. Can't really get up there now anymore. So JYJ pushes down the ramp to try and put some pressure on here, but there are so many Protoss reinforcements behind this that he could easily bring into this game if he wanted to. So it does drop down a couple more there. That's a decent storm as well. That tank goes down, that tank goes down, so he's only got about 5 or 6 tanks left. And if Protoss moved its entire army in position, or potentially pressured another side of the map, or potentially just waltzed straight into the main of Terran, JYJ is so far out of position with a relatively small army, I don't think there'd be a hell of a lot he could do about it. So here we do see Protoss moving across the map. It's going to get slowed down by mines. So JYJ could get some damage here. He might even get this Nexus. No, these shuttles are going to stop that. So the shuttle play has just been really masterful. It's mainly Zealots. Where is your High Templars? I don't think he needs them. He's just basically gone, that's fine. I'll just drop Zealots to reduce the tank count. 1 tank, 2 tanks, 3 tanks, 4 tanks. Really a very, very low count. And that's kind of the name of the game from Rain this whole game. Just been keeping the tank count in check. I am absolutely blown away by what I've seen today. I really am. This has just been incredible. I've seen people in the comments writing, why don't people play with Arbiters? Yeah, he brought Arbiters in the late game, but he didn't win with Arbiters. He won with Shuttles, he won with Reavers, he won with a little bit of Storm Drops, and he won with Macro and Expansions. That's how this game is played at this high level. But for Rain to come back from the deficit he had, and to beat the reigning champion of ASL from a supply deficit, from a base count deficit, from everything he had, is just unbelievable. Guys, when you are good, you are good. Rain is an incredible player. He doesn't, I think, get nearly enough coverage on platforms like YouTube. There's aren't that many replays of his that have been cast, so I'm going to certainly be trawling Quell to get as many as I can and bring them to you, because this guy is quite exceptional. He's just taken down the ASL champion, and he shouldn't have stood a chance after he lost that Nexus, lost that gateway, had a huge deficit. He fought his way back in with some really good Reaver drops and some excellent macro and some amazing defense of all of JYJ's pushes, and his ability to keep the tank count low and the way he did it was just absolutely masterful. A fantastic game. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching to the end. Until next time, I will see you soon.